Yeah, so I'm on the floor. So today's video is obviously different. Yeah, I've been wanting to film a video about uni for a while, but I don't know, I never really got around to it. But my mom reminded me, I think it popped up on her phone or something, but she reminded me that I graduated a year ago. It freaks me out, I'm not gonna lie. So I thought I would do a video on my year after uni, because I feel like loads of people do videos on their uni experience, but the year after uni is actually, I mean, for me anyway, it's been like the weirdest year of my life. To be honest, it's not what I expected it to be, and I feel like a lot of people would have just graduated by now. So I'm gonna do a video talking about my experience. So I graduated last July with a degree in psychology. Don't even get me started on my degree. To be honest, in my head I never really knew what I wanted to do. I knew I kind of wanted to work in London in like a PR/social media kind of job, but when you've done a psychology degree it's easier said than done to like straight out from that. So in my head I just thought I could apply for as many internships and stuff as possible and like magically get a job. So yeah, I didn't have any plans set up straight away, but I had been working during my third year at a retail shop back where I live at home, and I just travel home every weekend for work, which was the longest thing ever. I had a job to fall back on and I had a job for the summer, so I decided to basically do full-time hours but not increase my contract. So I was still a part-timer, and I just figured that if I could work as many hours as possible I could start paying off my overdraft, which I'm still in, and just save for, I don't really know what I was saving for, to be honest. I just feel like it's good to save. So I was back home. I was actually quite happy because I could see all my old friends again. I was with my family again. I was in a routine again because work was filling up my days because I was doing so many hours. It was like keeping me busy like uni was. And with my work, a lot of my friends were also students, so during the summer we'd all work a lot of hours. So I was working with my friends as well, so it was all fine. Obviously retail, if you've worked in retail you know it's tough. I figured in my head for some reason that in September I would start working in something, like I'd basically be leaving hopefully in September, and I was applying for a few jobs here and there, never really getting past the second stage, obviously because I'm not really qualified to do any of the jobs I actually wanted to do. So September came around and I was basically in the shit. So I stuck it out for another month or so, went on this holiday to Barcelona, which was literally the best trip ever. This was the first trip me and my friends had ever been on together. Yeah, we were really excited and we went, and it was only 3 nights, literally only 3 nights, but it was the best trip ever. So good that we came back and planned to move out. Obviously planned because I'm not there right now. Me and my friend planned to move out there and teach English and live our Spanish life, I guess. Yeah, that was another thing in my head that was getting me through to the next summer, I guess. I was just like, okay, I'll work and this is something else to save for. So I had a reason to be there. But things happen. With plans like that, you really do have to be on it to do it. Like, you really do have to plan what you're going to be doing. You have to plan how you're going to be earning money, where you're going to stay, and we just didn't do any of that. That plan was quite short-lived. So we're basically at the end of 2017 now, and I'm still at the job, and a full-time vacancy came up at work and I basically applied for it. I never really planned to apply for it, and I never really wanted to apply for it, to be honest. But at the time I needed more money. I needed more money for driving, I needed more money to save, my overdraft, just all of this stuff, my bills, and then to have money to actually socialise and stuff. I just didn't have the money. I talked to my parents about it, and I shit you not, your parents are always right. Your parents are always right. They warned me, they said, this is fine, if you want to do it, it's fine, but you're going to find yourself trapped. And I was like, no, I'm not going to let that happen. I know you're worried, but I'm not going to let that happen. I'm going to look for work while I'm working there. I'm going to still do YouTube on the side, because this whole time, since I graduated, I started up YouTube again. and I was just doing it on the side, like with my work. I naively said, it's not going to affect me because I'm not like invested in the place, I'm not going to progress there, I'm not blah 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 blah, I want other things, just give me a year. I said to them, just give me a year, and they said, okay, it's up to you, do whatever, like obviously like any parents would. So I took the full-time position, and in my head, because I've been working for 3-4 days a week, I really didn't think full-time was going to be that different. I was wrong. Literally immediately after I started working full-time, obviously if you're working full-time, you're gonna get more responsibility. I got more invested in the place, I got more involved in the bitchiness. Basically my life just spiraled out of control, and this is where it got shit. So I was working 5 days a week, pretty much all day. My days would pretty much be 8 till 8 pretty much every night, because we would get out late all the time, which if you work in retail you know. Any spare time I had, I wasn't even meeting up with friends, I was doing YouTube like on the side, because it was honestly the only thing that kept me sane. And work was just not good. This isn't me slagging off retail work, because if I was passionate about retail, I would have worked my way up and put my all into it. But because I wasn't passionate about it, it was so hard to go to work. Like, I'm sure you know, if you hate your job, and I feel like a lot of people do, it's so hard to go to a job that you absolutely hate, and especially when it's a people-based job, it's just draining. I was pretty much on a floor on my own, so our store was like a women's floor on the bottom and then men's and kids at the top. And before I knew it, I was pretty much on the top floor on my own, basically doing twice the amount than I started off doing. Unnecessary stress, no manager at some points, just it was shit. I'm not gonna lie, it was shit, and I was miserable. I loved the people I worked with, like all my colleagues and stuff, I absolutely loved them, and I really miss them now, but the job itself was just, people at work were dropping like flies, so our workload got even more. Things were just not good at all. I found myself just getting invested in a job that I wasn't passionate about, which my parents warned me about, but I didn't even realise it was happening until the day I snapped out of it and realised that something was wrong. It was when I started to consider applying to move up in the company, even though I knew I hated the job. Like, I knew it would have made me miserable, but I was still prepared to apply for the job. Like, does that even make sense? If you find yourself in a retail job and you want to work your way up to be a manager, and you think you'd be a good manager and you think that would make you happy, then that's amazing. But I knew that wouldn't have made me happy, but I was still thinking about it. I think that's when I realised I needed to dip. So by this time I was pretty much looking for any reason to leave, and luckily this is where it all changed. I get a phone call in April from my brother. Okay, background on my brother. He basically works in marketing, but on the side he does freelance photography and videography. So basically just a lot on his plate, a lot to do, not enough time. So I got a phone call from my brother, and he basically said to me, you need to leave your job. And I was like, I know, but what the fuck am I gonna do? So he said, work for me for 6 months doing emails, admin, editing, because obviously I've done editing of my own stuff, videos and photos, so he knew I could do it. Still getting paid, working from home, making my own hours, pretty much the dream situation, I'm not gonna lie. It took me 2 seconds to decide. I literally, I don't even think I said yes. I think he just knew that I was gonna do it. I wrote my resignation letter for work. I handed it in the next day. That was awkward because I feel like no one actually expected me to leave, because I'd never really spoken about it that much, and they were a bit like, oh, okay then. Obviously I do miss the people I work with. Sometimes, which sounds crazy, I actually do miss the job, just because you meet people all the time, you get used to where you work, and you kind of like, it kind of feels like home. And I was there for like 2 years. So yeah, I left after 2 weeks and started my new job. So basically from April I started to make my own hours, do work for my brother, and still have time to do YouTube and still have time to look for other jobs. I'm not gonna lie, working from home does drive me crazy a bit though. I understand it's like a really lucky position to be in, and I literally, I just am so grateful for it. But it does drive you a bit insane sometimes because you're not around people. You can get cabin fever, but honestly, best decision and best opportunity I've ever got in my life, like ever. I still don't know what I'm doing, and after this 6 months is up, I may well have to go back into retail or back into those types of jobs. But I'm going to go with the mindset that I know I don't want to progress there. But yeah, that is pretty much how my year has gone, and it's taken me up to now. I don't even know why I made this video, to be honest. I think I just wanted to say that life after uni isn't what a lot of people make it out to be. I, for some reason, had in my head before I even went to uni that I'd go to uni and get a job straight away. I want to say like 80% of people, it's just not the case. Like most of the people I graduated with, like most of my friends that I graduated with, just got like your bog standard jobs after uni. And they say employee rates are like 99% after graduating. This counts as being employed. Like working in retail counts as being employed. That's what they mean. It doesn't mean that all these people get like an amazing job in London that has everything to do with their degree, because that's what I thought, honestly. But it's not. It just means they're employed in some way, shape or form. But yeah, for some reason in my head I thought that wasn't going to happen to me, and it did. Weirdest year of my life and hardest year of my life probably. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye. I literally feel lighter. Like I just feel like I've just chatted so much shit.